We all know Vincent van Gogh as the eccentric artist who painted Starry Night. But did you know that he was strongly influenced by ukiyo-e? Van Gogh was a strong admirer of Japanese art. Woodblock prints, known as ukiyo-e, became popular in France around the 1830s. The search for a more Japanese clarity of light, as he said, which made colors appear flatter and more vivid, led Van Gogh to found the Studio of the South in Arles. From Arles, he once wrote to his brother Theo, "If we study Japanese art, we see a man who studies a blade of grass." And you cannot study Japanese art, it seems to me, without becoming much gayer and happier, and we must return to nature. As part of his studies of Japanese art, Van Gogh created a series of 3 paintings directly inspired by ukiyo-e prints. 2 of these are from Hiroshige, a prominent landscapist from the Edo period, who seems to have made an impact on the artist, while another one is from Eisen. The ukiyo-e paintings of Vincent van Gogh. Van Gogh was a great admirer of Japanese woodblock prints and accurately reproduced 3 of them. This painting was the first of the reproductions, modeled after Hiroshige's Plum Garden in Kameido, part of his series 100 Famous Views from Edo. Even though they are technically reproductions, here we can appreciate how Van Gogh infuses the scene with his expressive post-impressionistic brushwork. The lushness of the trees seems amplified through more intensive brushwork, almost with a sort of essence emanating from the blossoms. Interestingly, Van Gogh's representation of the plum trees seems to mirror the regard held for them in Japan, specifically the sleeping dragon plum, depicted by Hiroshige, was celebrated for the clarity of its blooms. Its fragrance was also remarkable, as was its composition. Art Institute of Chicago describes the reddish sky as an unexpected color, while the close-up of the tree is that unusual composition. Whether Van Gogh was aware of it or not, he succeeded in capturing the essence of the sleeping dragon plum through brushwork and intensity of hue. We're also beginning to see some non-representational color in the background, since the crowd appears to be rendered expressively in yellow, conveying a joyous mood. Van Gogh painted Courtesan after Ibsen around the same time as Flowering Plum Orchard. According to Van Gogh Museum, Vincent modeled this painting after a vertical diptych by Keisai Eisen. The print, Courtesan wearing uchikake with dragon design, appeared on the cover of Paris Illustré in 1886. When comparing both artworks, we can appreciate how many liberties Van Gogh took in creating his expressive, ornate version of the composition. The color palette is non-representational, conveying a mood rather than acting as faithful replica to what is observed. While similar in pose, the courtesan's obi is rendered vividly with artistic multicolor brushwork. The figure of the dragon has been abstracted into swirls and non-objective forms, a true form of innovation in Western art. Van Gogh seemed to be fond of his rendition of the courtesan. He alluded to it in his portrait of Pere Tanguy, which is in itself notable for its splendid ukiyo-e-inspired background. Next up, we have Bridge in the Rain, known as Sudden Shower, also after Hiroshige. When comparing both artworks, we can note a sense of increased density in Van Gogh's painting, a feature of his style since he tended to almost impasto the paint on his canvases. In any case, heavy post-impressionistic brushwork and dark brooding regions of blue convey a sense of depth and turmoil of the sea. The color scheme is loosely related to Hiroshige's original, though the background in Bridge is rendered non-representationally in a moody blue. The highlight of this painting, however, is the use of line to represent the rain. It has been said that ukiyo-e is thread-like, in its emphasis of line as opposed to the color blocking typical of Western-style painting. Van Gogh seemed particularly inspired by the use of line in ukiyo-e and adopted the style of outlining figures based on Japanese woodblock convention. For instance, in A Landscape in the Rain, we see a resurgence of expressive line in the style of Hiroshige's ukiyo-e. Scholars have noted how Van Gogh's use of color has also been influenced by ukiyo-e. Huang said, "It can be said that ukiyo-e is the art of thread." Van Gogh, under the influence of ukiyo-e, usually used dark colors to outline the main body of the painting. A comparative study by Omi and Lee found a strong similarity in hue and chroma distribution pattern between some of Van Gogh's late paintings and some ukiyo-e prints. Van Gogh's zealous study of Japanese art led him to understand the beauty of line and its effectiveness in demarcating flat planes of color.